Mandy, thank you so much for speaking with me. And I've been, of course, for the last couple of months, because it's a new world, asking everybody right off the interview, how are you doing and how are you handling this new world, dealing with COVID-19, plus the fact racism is in the forefront and people are talking about this, good or bad. People are out there debating about masks. I mean, it's just, who would have thought last year that this summer would be the way it is? How are you dealing through all this, and what do you think of all this?
Yeah, well, 2020 has been a crazy year so far. I think we can all vouch for that one. But, it's been weird. It's been obviously a big transition. I made the choice to come up and be with my family in Canada through all this, and so it's just kind of, it's interesting. It's kind of taking a different step back, not being so, going out so much and being in the public. But I think I always try to look at things, try to look at the bright side, and it's given me definitely time for reflection on my music, my personal life, more time with my family. My sisters just had their first baby, so I get to be an aunt. With everything going on in the world, I think we have to offer, peace, love, and just radiate love. That's what I'm trying to stand for right now. So it's crazy.
Hey. Amen to that. And, you're a 10-year veteran in this business, and we're going to talk about your new single, your achievements and things like that, too. But it must be stir crazy for you not being in front of a live audience, whether it's on the big main stage or it's in a smaller venue. I don't know how you're handling it. And I know a lot of artists are doing the virtual performances, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. I mean, thank gosh for technology so that we're still able to do these live performances on Facebook, Instagram, Zoom, all those things. I mean, at least gives us some sort of platform. I'm grateful for that, but it is very different. You're not being able to feed off the crowd and see who's out there, see the reactions, so it is very weird, very different time.
Yeah, well, crossing fingers that hopefully things will change up and we'll be able to see you perform. And congratulations on the new music, and thank you for releasing new music, too. Was it important for you to get music out there because we're going through a tough time? Because, let's face it, music is something that we can all, brings people together, no matter where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my publicist, Jasper, and I had been planning on this release for about a year or over a year now, this new song, Dreamcatcher. And we planned it for, 2020, not knowing exactly what we were getting into, obviously, with the pandemic. But, we had pushed back the release just by a month when all this stuff was going down to give us better clarity of how we could do the release and, the different obstacles that we were going to face with it. But I'm so glad that we released it. And, my song Dreamcatcher is about going out and catching your dreams no matter what obstacles you face and always believing in yourself. So that's just the message that we wanted to spread to everyone with this song. So I'm grateful that we pushed through and we released it this year.
I'm grateful that you have, too, especially this tough time. I want to talk about your career, too, because it's been a tough road also. Now, can I say that you're a small-town girl? Can I say that, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I'm actually, I grew up out in the country, surrounded by farm fields, so I'm a country girl. Yeah. Where did you grow up, and what was that like for you growing up and slowly starting to figure out that music was going to be a big part of your life? Yeah, so I born and raised outside of Edmonton, Alberta, kind of Stony Plain, to be more specific. So we grew up, on a 3 acres surrounded by farm fields. I remember taking my guitar and sitting out on the bales in the field next to us and playing my music, and that's how my love for performing got started, is by performing to an empty field. But it was, I'm really grateful for having the time that I had to be out in the country, because it allowed me to really lean on music as my form of an creative outlet. And, instead of being in town where I could have, been out and about with friends, I was more isolated. And it made me lean on my creativity and become the artist that I am. So that's interesting.
No, that's interesting, because you probably could have had a choice of any genre of music. What country?
Yeah, well, so my music definitely has that country influence, but I grew up with so many influences from all genres. I mean, our family's huge classic rock fans. I actually started vocally being trained in pop. But country, I love my Shania Twain. I grew up with, the Garth Brooks and all that stuff. So that's kind of where Nashville came about, and going to Nashville was through that influence. But my music is definitely sprinkled with classic rock, alternative, and pop vibes as well.
How did CMT become such an important part of your life?
Sorry?
CMT. How did CMT become such an important part of your life?
Oh, CMT, yes. Well, back in 2008, I kind of stumbled upon a singing competition that was happening in Edmonton, and I drove into the big city, way up from way out in the country, but drove in, got all lined up to get in the venue, and saw all these cameras around, and it was for CMT Karaoke Star. And it was amazing. I went in, sang When You Say Nothing at All by Alison Krauss, ended up winning in Edmonton, which was awesome, and which led me to Toronto for the finale. And just meeting a bunch of the producers and people that worked for CMT and realizing the bigger picture of the music industry really propelled me forward to understanding a bit more about it. And that's what kind of led me to be able to go to Nashville and pursue music full time.
Well, I got to say right off the top, boy, do we miss the old CMT. Oh, wish it was back, but as things change, yes, very much so. But you did say you moved over to Nashville. So here we are. We're talking about two things that you took a chance with. You took a chance in this out-of-the-blue tryout with CMT for their contest. Then you take a bigger role and you quit your job and you go to Nashville. A, what was that feeling like in making that decision? And two, what was it like to make that move? Because I kind of picture it. If you've ever seen the very old early 70s show, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, where she's driving to the big city, it kind of reminds me of what you kind of ended up doing going to Nashville.
Oh, yes. Well, for me, being from Alberta, the music scene is amazing, and Canada in general is great. But for me, I just had to submerge myself into the music scene 24/7, and I knew that Nashville was the place that I was going to get that experience. I wanted to be a little fish in a big pond and learn how to swim that much better. And so it was scary. Definitely a big process getting a work visa and all that stuff, but it taught me more perseverance and fight and drive for what I really wanted. So overall, it was like a great move on my part. So I'm very grateful that I did that even at a young age.
One of the things that I always like to stress when I'm doing this interview with artists like yourself who go to Nashville, and this is really for our listeners, is when people think of Nashville, they just think strictly country. When it comes to songwriting, practically every genre of music is in Nashville. I personally consider Nashville as the hub. I always look at it as Nashville, L.A., and New York as the three big places to go to in writing music. Talk a little bit about that experience in going to Nashville and being exposed to all different types of music.
Yeah, the Nashville writing scene is phenomenal. And for me, that actually was the first step in going there. I was co-writing, and I had never co-written a song before. When I, was back home, I was writing all my music by myself. So that was a crazy fun new experience for me through co-writing. And it's just such an amazing thing. Yeah, there's so many different genres, country, pop, rock, blues. I mean, you name it, and it's in Nashville. And so it's great because you get different influences, different writing techniques, different vibes and styles, and you're able to kind of zig and zag into creating, who you are as an artist by getting these different influences and what draws you in. So, yeah, it's an amazing city for songwriting.
For the team that you have now, how did that finally happen? Who approached who? Who did you meet to finally become what we're soon going to talk about, of course, your latest single and the music you've released too?
Yeah, well, so my team around me is a beautiful group of amazing friends that have lifted me up for so long. One of my songwriters that wrote Dreamcatcher with me, Andrew Beeson, he is one of my best friends. We've written so many songs together, and I knew when I had the idea for Dreamcatcher that he was the guy for the job. So Definitely he's a great tool for me and a great part of my team as a songwriter. Simon Gugela, my producer, I've worked with him for years now. We recorded my first album together, and he's just allowed me and encouraged me so much to be in the studio co-producing with him, co-engineering. He's taught me how to use Logic Pro to record stuff on my own, and just really encourages me to bring up that creative producer side. Through photographers, Bethany Loach, she's from back home, videographers, Jenny Marvin's a great friend of mine, and then, of course, my publicist, Jasper, from Nova Current, is just such a huge game changer in the pursuit of, my music, and it's really encouraged me and lifted me up so much to highlight, what I'm about. So I'm so grateful for him. And, of course, we've got our radio tracker, Adrian. So everybody's just so awesome, and they're such team players, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Let's get to Dreamcatcher. You already explained it earlier, but I want to go back again. The inspiration behind the song, how it came about, and, again, what's the song about, please?
Yeah, so, being originally from Canada, I remember being young, like in the third grade, and learning how to make dream catchers. We were always taught about the Native American culture, and so that just stuck with me a lot growing up. I've made dream catchers all my life, and I started making them a few years back and would bring them to music festivals, as decoration and to sell. And so I was hanging up these dream catchers, and I just had this aha moment of that, I'm a dream catcher, and at this point I've been going out there and chasing my dream, but I had to transform it into catching my dream. And so this aha moment hit me. I knew to write it with my buddy Andrew Beeson. So we got in the writing room, wrote this great song, and then I even had a download from a meditation I was doing of the bridge, and that's that little rappy part. But it was just such a gift from above with the words. It's a song about going out there, pursuing your passions, kind of having, I had a side hustle in Canada where I was a waitress for many years, saving up money to be able to pursue music on the weekend with my band, and then ultimately moving to Nashville. So it's about going out there, working hard, chasing your dreams, catching your dream, and not letting anything stop you. So I really hope it inspires all the listeners out there and becomes their theme song for catching their dreams.
Everything her soul desires, one day she'll set the world on fire, won't let the chances roll on by, no, she's not the kind, got her eyes set on the goal, taking names, chasing gold, yeah, can slow her down from what really matters, oh, she's a little dream catcher, dream catcher, dream catcher.
I was just about to ask about upcoming, if there's going to be an upcoming EP or album, but I'm going to hold off on that. Can you tell me where you recorded the music video? Amazing scenery.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've always been pulled to Arizona ever since I was younger. And I went there on a photography trip when I was in grade 12. Then went back about a year and a half ago to do a photo shoot. I just had this pull. I had to go to Arizona. So brought my photographer Bethany down, and we did this photo shoot outside of Phoenix. I fell so much in love with it that I knew that the music video had to be filmed there, and we decided on Tucson, Arizona, which was such a magical place. Beautiful skies, beautiful scenery, the cacti, the desert, and there's a huge influence of dream catchers and Native American culture down in Arizona. So it was just natural that we were pulled to that landscape to film the music video. So it was such a blast, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity.
Will there be an EP or an album following all this?
Absolutely. Yes. Last year, I was in the studio all year long recording my album, and it is 7 fully produced songs, and then we're going to have a bonus track on there, an acoustic track, and I cannot wait to get this out to the world. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that, too. In the meantime, as we talked earlier about virtual performances, will that be happening on Facebook with you in the near future?
Yeah, I hope to be planning a few more live shows and everything, in any way possible, which right now looks like Facebook or Instagram. So I just did a Dreamcatcher single release party with a few of my friends here in Alberta, and we did it obviously virtually through Facebook Live. So that was cool. So I hope to do a few more in the future.
Looking forward to that. And also, as we speak, just about a day or so, the CCMAs made their announcements for nominations. And are we going to see you in any way? Do we know yet if you can be any way part of the CCMAs? And if we can go, would you be down there?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, obviously with everything going on, we can cross our fingers because this would be a great year to be able to attend the CCMAs with, the, you know, just releasing my new single. So we'll see how all that works out. As far as right now, just because we've been unsure about showcases and everything, nothing has come up quite yet, but we'll cross our fingers and hopefully some little miracles will happen and we'll be able to attend that and make some appearances if it does happen.
Yeah, and definitely be using our dream catchers to make sure this all happens too. So social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow you on social media?
Yeah, well, I have a fabulous website, mandymcmillan.com, where you can, you know, there are links to my social media on there, but the best one is Instagram, Mandy McMillan Music. You got Facebook. I've been tweeting a little bit as well, and then you can check out the music video on YouTube. So.
Fantastic. Mandy, congratulations on your new single. Congratulations on your career. Congratulations to show that people can follow their dreams if they truly believe in it, and you're definitely a great example for that. So thank you again, and please be safe. Hope your family is safe too, and hope that the next time we talk, it'll be in person.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. Be safe. Talk soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.